Welcome to the deep dive. You send us the stack, the essays, the research, the frameworks, and we distill the most potent insights, giving you that shortcut to being truly well-informed.
Today, we are tearing into a concept that I think is just critical for anyone trying to master their well-being.
Especially if you're one of those high achievers who, feel strangely stuck.
Exactly. We're talking about the health attention economy.
We're diving deep into an essay by Mark Carlson called When Your Health Becomes Someone Else's Business Model.
And our goal here is really to pull apart the central mechanism, how our natural curiosity and our deepest uncertainties about our bodies become these incredibly profitable engines for other people.
And once you see the engine...
Right. Once you see it, you fundamentally change how you interact with all of it, with your own health data.
So let's start with the anecdote the source uses because it's so visceral. I mean, we've all been there. Imagine it's, 6:12 a.m., you're standing on the cold kitchen tile, and you notice this quiet, clear feeling. Your joints are quiet, your breathing is easy.
That rare moment of just grounded, clear health before the day gets its hands on you.
And then that little vibration on your wrist.
Yep. The smart device buzzes.
Yeah.
And the screen delivers a score. Low recovery.
And just like that, the feeling is gone.
And that's the key insight right there. The initial grounded feeling of health is immediately disrupted.
Yeah.
Not by a new symptom, not by a feeling in your body, but by the process of checking the data.
Absolutely. That feeling of clarity it vanishes. You grab your phone to check the details, and the whole system just pulls you in.
A work message, 20 alerts that don't matter, a new reel promising some 3-step fix for something you didn't even know was a problem.
By the time you get back to the health app, that quiet state from your own body is a distant memory. The morning that felt internal and grounded is now running on this background hum of small activations, of urgency.
And that is a crucial shift. It's subtle, but it's profound. The data didn't reveal a problem that wasn't there.
No.
The active engagement actually changed the state that was being measured.
So our slow, grounding rituals get replaced by this drip feed of metrics and notifications.
And algorithms that personalize your dopamine supply,
Yeah.
priming you to feel reactive or like you're perpetually behind.
So the core question for you, the listener, shifts. It goes from how do I feel to something way more dangerous.
To which version of reality gets to count? My internal feeling or this external score?
That makes perfect sense. And this idea of an external script, it's not new, is it? We've been trained for decades to follow outside guidance.
Oh, that's right. If you look back at the 70s and 80s, the health script was loud and it was shared.
Low-fat everything.
Low-fat everything, the official food pyramid, those cereal commercials that sounded like a public service announcement.
The advice might have been incomplete or just plain wrong, but everyone was getting the same story.
And that shared story was training us in a very foundational way.
How so?
To trust the external script, the guidelines, the authority over the feedback coming directly from our own bodies.
Right. Whether that's pain or fatigue or something in your gut, we learn to defer.
But the modern system, it introduces what the source calls the tiny betrayals. This is the personalized version of that.
Okay, what's a tiny betrayal?
It's when your device gives you a red score, but you honestly feel fine. Or a green score when you feel completely cooked, just exhausted.
And you decide to obey this score.
You obey the score. You cancel a walk even though you feel energetic, or you push through exhaustion because the score is green. That's the betrayal. You favor the objective data over your own lived experience.
And the implication of that is massive. If you contradict a clear signal from your own nervous system, 50 times over a year, because you trust the number more, what happens to that internal voice?
That signal, it doesn't just vanish.
Yep.
It atrophies. It stops being trusted.
Yeah.
And that deferral of authority it sets the stage for this whole attention economy to take over your health narrative.
You've basically told the system, I'm willing to let something outside of me define my reality.
And once you've done that, you're wide open.
Okay, let's get specific about those persuasive forces. The source uses this fantastic metaphor of walking through a house where each room increases the pressure on your attention.
Let's walk through the 6 rooms of the health attention economy.
Where does it start?
Room 1 is where the process begins. It's when tools start talking like judges.
Smart rings, watches, bands.
Exactly. They start out as really valuable mirrors. Right. They reflect patterns like your HRV or your sleep stages, and that's helpful context.
But then they tilt. They become the referee.
They become the referee, the deciding vote. Instead of an observation tool, it's now the decision maker.
And how does this serve the company's business model?
Well, it's a fascinating look at the business imperative. It's retention. The company succeeds when the app opens often and the device stays on your wrist.
So they have to keep it interesting.
Their job is to keep that mirror interesting, often by, highlighting potential danger or some missed optimization. It creates that feeling that you need the metric.
So you have to keep looking.
You have to keep looking. It makes you ask yourself, if that device vanished tomorrow, would you lose the ability to make good calls about sleep or workouts?
Or would you realize you'd been outsourcing a skill you already had?
Precisely.
That's a tough question. Okay, the next room is just as complicated. Room 2, experts who can't all be right at once.
This is for when you're being proactive. You're running all the tests, stool tests, hormone panels.
All the labs.
All the labs.
Yeah.
And you lay those reports in front of 3 different really well-meaning experts.
And you get 3 different answers.
You get 3 different plausible interpretations. The functional MD sees stress physiology, the trauma therapist sees emotional shock, and the nutritionist sees a self-infection. Same data.
The problem isn't malice then. It's what? Information overload.
It's that interpretation multiplies faster than experiments. The real risk here is that your own pattern recognition, your intuition, becomes the quietest voice in the room.
Because you're just waiting for the ultimate external answer.
Exactly. You stop running your own small trials. Ask yourself, how many of your biggest health changes came from an expert's interpretation versus something you just discovered on your own?
That brings us right into room 3, feeds that learn your fears.
Oh, we've all been there.
Yeah, you sit down to do research on a problem. Maybe you type bloating won't go away into a search bar.
And you sample a few articles,
Mm-hmm.
and then the algorithm just takes over.
And suddenly you're drowning in reels about adrenal collapse, sponsored tests.
Influencers offering a root cause fix. And from the system side, this is pure signal. You're telling exactly which phrases, which fears root cause, microbiome, keep you scrolling.
So 2 hours later, your body is exactly the same.
But you're carrying a whole new stack of open worrying loops. You gain some vocabulary, but 0 actionable change. Meanwhile, the platform logs it as a success.
Watch time, ad impressions.
And they've successfully classified you. Maybe they've labeled you the adrenal fatigue person. They know exactly what to show you next.
And that engagement is what powers the next room, isn't it?
It absolutely is. Room 4. Health is an attention business. The source shares this incredible anecdote about a practitioner taking out a $30,000 loan.
For what? More training.
Not for more biochemistry knowledge.
Yeah.
Specifically for knowledge about persuasion.
Wait, so you're saying successful health advice is just good marketing?
The point is that persuasion is now the primary bottleneck. The scarcity of your attention is a bigger hurdle for them than a scarcity of knowledge.
So what did they learn for 30 grand?
How to write headlines that hook you. How to tell a story that makes you feel both exposed and hopeful. How to structure every post to prompt a next step.
It's all framed as communicating value, but the real skill being taught is holding and moving attention.
And that's why the most visible health figures are ultimately united by their skill and attention capture, not necessarily their clinical results. That skill is now a commodity.
Resulting in hundreds of micro touches a day, all tuned to keep you locked in.
Exactly. Which brings us to room 5, the shrinking map. This shows the consequences for anyone who's actually trying to do diligent research.
We used to have this messy map, right? Blogs, articles, forums.
A real ecosystem. Now, when you search for something, that first screen is almost exclusively dominated by ads, affiliate link farms,
commercial portals, and those AI-generated summary boxes.
which often have sponsored products embedded right in them.
The incentive is completely perverse.
It is. The discovery tools no longer have your informational interest as their first priority. They serve themselves or they serve paying customers.
So the independent, nuanced voices, the actual clinicians.
They are pages down, effectively invisible, because they don't monetize attention well enough to reach the surface.
And then there's the final room, room 6, the synthetic crowd. This one is new and honestly a little alarming.
It is. The basic assumption that the content you're seeing was made by a human that's no longer safe.
The source mentions seeing high-quality synthetic content that can pass a personal Turing test.
Think about it. AI-run accounts can push out dozens of videos a day. Deepfake clips are selling supplements.
So it creates a synthetic crowd.
And that weakens the social checks we all rely on, right? seeing if other people share your symptoms, trying to figure out who's trustworthy.
A lot of people are saying this.
Might just be one really well-crafted campaign with a good prompt, not a genuine consensus.
Wow. It would be so easy to stop here and just blame the algorithms.
But we have to address the uncomfortable truth, which is that the environment only works because we cooperate with it.
We use the attention economy. Buying tests we don't need, scrolling for regulation tips.
To avoid sitting in that blank, uncomfortable space of not yet knowing what to do.
So what is truly at stake here? What's the real cost?
It's the interpretive layer, that vital space between your body's raw signals, pain, hunger, energy, and your ability to assign them the right meaning.
Exhaustion could mean you need iron, or you need more sleep, or...
Or you need to change your job. The attention economy inserts so many layers, metrics, funnels, hot takes, that the part of you that learns from direct experience just starts to atrophy.
So the solution isn't to just throw away all the tools.
No, not necessarily. It's to put these external layers back in their place by consciously reclaiming that interpretive authority. And you do that by running specific low-tech experiments.
Okay, let's give the listener something concrete. Experiment 1. The one-sentence gate.
For 1 week before you open any health content, an article, an app, social media, you have to pause. And you answer one question in one sentence.
And the question is?
What problem in my actual life am I trying to solve right now?
Like, my joints hurt climbing the stairs.
Or, I am totally wrecked by 3 p.m. The goal is clarity. You shift from a vague sense of being curious to a concrete problem. And you start to notice when the impulse to check is really just about being uncomfortable with not checking anything.
I love that. Okay, what's next? Experiment 2. 7 days without health feeds.
For a full week. No new health reels, no shorts, no new podcasts, no new essays about protocols.
You keep your existing routines, but no new information sampling.
This is a critical one. The goal is to give your nervous system a week where the primary feedback loop is strictly between your actions and your body's response, not between fear and content.
And you're going to feel that itch.
Oh yeah, that sense of missing out. That's the point. You have to surface it, observe it, and learn from it. You're silencing the external noise so you can finally hear if what you're currently doing is even working.
And finally, experiment 3. 1 voice, 1 change, 4 weeks.
This one directly counters the constant sampling and program hopping the ecosystem encourages.
So you choose one respected source. A book, a practitioner.
Extract one concrete, doable change, and then you commit to it for 4 full weeks.
And that sustained commitment is everything.
It's key. Whether it's an earlier bedtime or removing one food, you generate clear signal by staying with it, even through the boredom and the doubt. Your own experience, your sleep, your pain, your energy, it will deliver a clear, undeniable verdict.
Yes, no, or not worth the effort.
And you prove to yourself through direct experience that your own nervous system is fully capable of delivering clear feedback. That is a capability the entire health attention economy cannot sell you.
It's the ultimate non-monetizable asset.
So, if we step back, we can propose a totally different metric for health progress. It's not about how much you know or how optimized your stack is.
It's about
how often you can confidently decide what to do next without checking a device, a feed, or an expert.
That is the ultimate gauge of self-trust. You know, you're not going to rebuild the internet from your kitchen.
No.
But you still control the half-second pause before you hand your attention over to the system.
And in that pause, no algorithm can predict you.
By consciously practicing that pause, you're making yourself harder to use.
Harder to use as a data point and easier to trust as an inner guide. And that small shift is the fundamental difference between being a part of someone else's business model
and being the person who gets to say what your own experience truly means.
Thank you for taking this deep dive with us. If you want to explore more of Mark Carlson's work on rethinking health from first principles, you can find his fantastic essays at healthundercontrol.com.
And to explore services that help put these specific principles into practice and reclaim that interpretive authority, visit unblocked.health. We'll see you for the next deep dive.